Hi guys, it's Vesna here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm sharing with you a furniture makeover video. This is my family room furniture and I'm starting off with this square oak table. This table I got for free from my sister's mother-in-law. She was getting rid of it and I gladly took it. So it has been painted twice already. So this is kind of the most recent paint color, and you can see it's chipping, it's coming off. So I wanted a different look for it, so I started off by painting the bottom part black and then sanding this top part. I originally was going to just paint it one color, but then I decided to sand it. Then I was going to stain it, but then I went back to just painting it. But I'll show you what I did. So I just used some sandpaper. I added it to my sander and then I sanded everything down until I got it looking like this. I could not sand any further, so I left it like this and I hummed and hawed whether to put stain on it or not, but I decided against it for several reasons. One reason was because I didn't want to use a gel stain, so I would need to strip whatever is on top of there, and it was too hot, and I was doing this in the summertime, so it's too hot for me to do that and then have it kind of air dry in the garage. It would have been too much and too long, and we needed the table. So I also contemplated leaving it like this, but it looked too rough, so I opted for painting it, but I can always go back and redo it if I want to. So what I did is I painted it with this Annie Sloan cocoa paint first, and just the top, because the bottom I painted black. And sorry, I used the Rust-Oleum chalked black paint for the bottom. And so this is what I got once I did that. And then I needed to make the top look a little bit darker, more like a wood surface. So what I did was I added some dark antique wax from Annie Sloan, as well as some black wax from Annie Sloan. Now this is 2 coats of the cocoa paint because it needed a few to cover everything. And word of advice is between the coats, if you just sand lightly, so that way it gives you a smooth finish without all the brush strokes. That will help quite a bit. So you can see over there I had to kind of touch up because it did have a few imperfections, but overall it was pretty good, and I let it dry. Now again, this is the other part, you need to let it dry for a good 24 hours before you start buffing and applying all of the wax. You don't want to overdo it because it'll come off. So this is already with a coat of the dark wax, and I'm just putting some of the black wax on top, and then I'll be adding the clear wax. But I also kind of buff off excess so that way it looks a little bit smoother. And then I add the clear wax to protect it, and that is all for this part, and this is what it turned out like, with several coats of the black wax and several coats of the dark wax. It turned out really nice little contrast. It's almost really hard to tell because of the lighting in this room, but this is a little bit better. So you can see it looks like a wood top and a black bottom. So the next piece of furniture that I'm refinishing is this cabinet. Now, I will link the video here for you to see what this used to look like because I've already refinished it once. We were keeping it in our basement, and now I decided to move it to my family room. So originally I painted duck egg blue with a white top that I added a little bit of black wax to make it look kind of aged, but I decided to refinish it. So again, I did the cocoa from Annie Sloan, and I used this dark decorative wax from Bear, and I just added it to the top of the piece so that way it would give it that wood look like I did with the table. You can see there's a theme. I tried to kind of make them all match. And I just kind of went off. You rub it on, rub it off, rub it on, rub it off. And then I also added black wax to it, and it gave me a nice finish. Now, when you are adding the wax, you want to make sure that you add little bits at a time and then buff it off, kind of remove the excess and keep on going, because it does dry quite fast. So you want to make sure that you're not darker on one spot and lighter on the other, just because of how it sets in. So just a little bit of advice. And when you are applying the wax, just go in all sorts of directions so that way you don't have any brush stroke. And then you want to go ahead and apply clear wax. I'm using the Annie Sloan, and that's just a protective wax. Like once you've added the black and everything, that's a protective wax to make sure that your piece doesn't get scratched up or dinged up. And you will add that to the bottom and to the top of the cabinet. I don't have a picture of me painting the bottom, but I painted it with a charcoal black from Rust-Oleum. And here's what it looks like once it is completed. Again, I'm doing this at night, so the lighting is not the best, but you can have an idea of what it looks like. I think it turned out really nicely, and it just fits with the room really, really nice. You may have to reapply some of the wax. So if you see like little blotches, I can kind of see here in the picture some blotches. So you may have to reapply some of the wax as time goes on, just because sometimes it cures differently and some things get like if I do a little touch up after, then I have to reapply the wax several times. So just keep that in mind. You may have to do some touch ups after. And last but not least are these chairs. This was a really easy makeover. I just painted the chairs with the Rust-Oleum chalked black paint. I painted the fabric. It just gave them a little facelift until I'm ready to actually reupholster them. So that is everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a quicker one, but it was just something I wanted to share with you to see how to show you how quickly and easily you can take your furniture and remake it, redo it. And I used two cans of paint and those waxes. So I mean, initially when you start chalk painting, it's a little bit expensive, but once you have your stuff, like the waxes will last you for a very long time. So then it's just your cans of paint. So if I'm not counting the waxes, it was a can of paint, but that can of paint has lasted me for more than just these projects, and another can of paint for the top, which I still have quite a bit left over. So, probably like $60 for the two. And I feel like I have new furniture in my house. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe, and please come back for my Christmas in July segment starting actually tomorrow. Thanks.